How to start tackling childhood OCD while you wait for therapy. Hi, I'm Julie and I've parented a teenager with OCD, and I know how tough it can be and how easy it can be to feed OCD if you don't know the right things to do to tackle it. I'm also aware, judging by the amount of parents that have contacted me as well, how long the waiting lists are currently to get seen by professional therapists and CAMs. So what I try and do is just offer parents tips on how you can start tackling OCD in the meantime. What I want to stress though is I'm not a therapist, I'm just a mum who's been through it with my own daughter. And my only aim is to help you, to give you some tools to use while you wait for therapy. No way should you use my advice instead of therapy. So with that said, you've had your child diagnosed, they're on a waiting list to see CAMs if you're living here in the UK or whatever the equivalent might be, wherever you're living. What do you do next? Well, here's what we did. We made a list. Now let's just say I've made one, this is one I'd made earlier, as they say. So let's just say your child's got contamination OCD and they're washing their hands, they're sanitising surfaces, and they're also using a lot of wipes to wipe things down. What you would do is sit down with your child, write down a list of what your child's issues are, because obviously it'll depend what sort of OCD theme they're suffering from. I've just tried to keep it simple for demonstration purposes. So let's just say what you need to do then is to sit down with them, and if they're reluctant to do this list, try taking them somewhere where they're calm, somewhere fun. Like for me, it was in a coffee shop because my daughter liked coffee. But just find what makes your child calm and try and introduce this right to the list somewhere where they're in a calm space. So then get them to list this out of 10 in level of difficulty. So for example, washing hands, they might find that is 10. 1 being obviously the least difficult and least challenging, 10 being the most. Let's just say the sanitising is 9. And let's just say using wipes is 8, because maybe using wipes has been the last one they've added to their list of compulsions. What you would do then is choose the lowest, which in this case would be using wipes. And you would start with that as your first challenge. Now, if all of those are shown as a 10, which they could do, especially when you start ERP therapy, because this is what this process is going to be called, ERP therapy, exposure and response prevention therapy. That is what's used to start tackling OCD. So let's just suppose they're all 10, then just work out with your child then which one they're happy, or we'll say happy, they're not going to be happy about any of them, but which one they're prepared to start with, okay? And then try and find some sweetener, some way of celebrating success. So just say, what can we agree on now? If you do this with me, if you do this challenge, what can we agree we're gonna do? It could be some one-to-one time with you. It could be a new Lego set. It could be a coffee and a cake. You know what your child's currency will be, and just agree on something, because it will help motivate them to take this very difficult first step. Okay? So then the next step would be, let's just say we're going to decide to, it's the using wipes we're going to work on first. That will be challenge 1. You'd come up then with a deadline, a set deadline of when you're going to achieve that by. Let's just say, to keep it simple, it's going to be 1 week. So the time frame is 1 week. And then you have a choice then. There are several ways that you can do ERP therapy. One can be by reducing the compulsion, delaying the compulsion, or changing hierarchy. Like for example, if they like Dettol wipes, it might be changing to supermarket wipes, okay? And then just decide, let's just keep this simple. Let's just say we're going to reduce the amount of wipes used from, by 1 a day then, say reduce. So we'll use the reduce option. So let's just say that we're going to go from, I don't know, say 20 wipes a week to 13 a week. You'd then be reducing every single day. But obviously you would actually gauge that with your child, what they would feel comfortable doing. It might just be you're only going to reduce 1 wipe a week. But whatever you do, as long as you're starting to stand up to OCD by doing the opposite, it doesn't matter how slow these steps are, it's just doing something while you're waiting for therapy. So your child is in that mindset that they're going to be tackling this. You could also delay it. So it could be that when they're going to use the wipe, you can say, right, we're going to delay it by 1 second every day. Or changing hierarchy, which, as I said, could be changing from a Dettol wipe to a supermarket wipe. So a bit longer video today, but hope that's helped, because a lot of people, parents, have been asking me what you can do in the meantime while you're waiting for therapy. So I thought I would just pop this one on as a brief example of how you do it. I also have created a workbook, a sort of digital handbook for parents that goes into this in some more depth. You can access that on my website, which is themindmonsters.co.uk. And don't forget to sort of like and save this video if you found it useful, and don't forget to follow me for more parenting OCD tips.